Good evening. I'm Ed Murrow. The name of the program is Person to Person. It's all live, there's no film. Tonight we'll be visiting with people on two coasts. In California, with a well-established star, Mickey Rooney and his wife. And in New York, with an actress who hopes one day to achieve stardom in Hollywood, Jane Mansfield. We'll be ready to go in exactly 30 seconds.
Good evening. I'm Bob Dixon. The name of our sponsor is American Oil Company. And here is our famous red and black oval sign. And here's another sign you'll see on the Amoco gas pump. Contains no lead. Clear, white Amoco gas needs no lead or any other additive. That's because Amoco gas is refined to the highest natural octane on the road. I'll tell you more about that in just a few minutes. And now here's Ed Murrow.
Mickey Rooney is one of the youngest old-timers in show business. At 35, he's been a professional entertainer for 33 years. Before that, he was just a baby. Mickey grew up with the movies from silence to talkies. From the Mickey Maguire series through Andy Hardy, #1 box office champion for something like 3 years. Now he plays parts more befitting his mature years. He's a soldier in the recently released The Bold and the Brave. Mickey Rooney and his wife, actress Elaine Davis, live in this ranch-style house in the San Fernando Valley. It's about 15 minutes from Hollywood. They moved in about a month and a half ago. It's still daylight out on the West Coast, so let's call on them now. Hey, are you there, Mickey Rooney?
Yeah, Ed, I'm here.
How are you, Mickey?
Well, it's a pleasure to have you come and visit me this evening, Ed, and welcome to Rooney's Ranch, you might say.
Thanks very much. How's the California weather tonight?
Well, it's a little, it's getting a little brisk. It's about 70 degrees, Ed, and can you hear the plane overhead?
Yeah, I can.
I got news for you. We've got a lot of activity overhead, and we're right in the air lanes, you might say.
Well, is it cool enough for us to go inside, Mick?
Would you like to come inside?
Sure.
Please do. Thank you.
Mickey, the last time I saw you, you and Bill Holden were in a desperate movie fight with the Chinese in Korea. I didn't see the ending. How did it come out?
Well, as I remember, Ed, they sort of got us in the end. Bill and I were trapped in a ditch, and then the commies came in and sort of finished us off, and I was so very happy, Ed, to have worked in such a great picture along with Mr. Holden, Grace Kelly, and Mr. Frederick March.
It was a fine job. Mickey, tell me this. Have you ever had any desire for a career other than acting?
Ed, honestly, I wouldn't know what to do other than acting. I like to write a little bit. I'm a very bad writer. I write songs, etc., but I love this business so much. I'm so proud to be just a small part of it that I've never thought of anything else.
Well, do you still get real satisfaction from the business, or has it become just a job?
It's never a job to me. It's always fun. It's play. I've never known anything else, Ed, and I just love every phase of it.
Mickey, I guess it all must have been 10 years ago that I read a story about you. I think it was called Hollywood's Fabulous Brat. I've often wondered, are you always the life of the party, or do you sometimes just go and sit in a corner and brood?
Well, we all have our moments, Ed, but I enjoy everything, Ed. You might misinterpret that. A lot of people misinterpret your enthusiasm by saying that you're the life of the party, but I enjoy everything I do, Ed.
Well, you're not keeping Mrs. Rooney in hiding tonight, are you?
Oh, I should say not. I should say, oh, excuse me. We got to put a light on that, Ed. Incidentally, Elaine and Mom, we've got some wonderful guests here this evening. We've got Mr. Ed Morrow. Ed, this is my mother here.
Good evening, Mrs. Rooney.
Good evening, Mr. Morrow.
Sit right there. And this is my lovely wife, Ed, Elaine.
Good evening, Elaine.
Good evening, Ed.
Mrs. Rooney, do you still remember the day Mickey broke in on your vaudeville act?
I certainly do, Mr. Morrow. He was only, you might say, out of rompers.
Do you have any regrets because he decided to enter show business?
No, I do not. was always a genius.
Oh, gosh.
I thought.
Elaine, I know you and Mickey made a movie together, about a year ago. Is he an easy fellow to work with?
Oh, I should say he is. I just couldn't say anything else. He was wonderful to me, and I really enjoyed making the movie with him. Truly, I did.
We made a picture together, Ed, called The Atomic Kid. May I say she's a very, very fine actress and has got a real nice future ahead of her, I'm sure.
Well, everybody likes each other in this household. That's wonderful. Elaine, I want to ask you a serious question now.
Yes.
Do you ever have the feeling that I'm told some women have, that you must drive your husband into standing up and asserting himself?
Well, I can answer that very quickly. No, not at all.
Well, she's a very great help, Ed. Let me put it that way.
About your house. I know you just moved in recently. Is it all finished?
No, Ed, we've been in this house just about a month and a half, and the furniture you see is from another home in Woodland Hills, about 20 miles from here, and we haven't finished it yet, but, you know, I'd love you to see the rest of it, and, Mickey, why don't you show Ed?
Well, Ed, would you care to come along with me?
Let's go. I'm right with you.
Fine. Excuse me, Mom. Elaine, I'll see you at the pool. Right. Well, Ed, out of the living room here, we're stepping into a little small den that we have here.
Is this where you keep your mementos and trophies?
Well, it's going to be where I keep most of my mementos and trophies. I have quite a few, Ed. I'm very proud to say that I've known some of the greatest men of our time, and just to have been able to shake their hands has been so great. But as far as mementos are concerned, Ed, this right here is a crown, as you can well see,
yes.
And it was given to me by some over 150 newspapers that chose me as king of the movies, no less, in 1938, for which I've been very proud and have always treasured this very much.
Try it on.
Incidentally, shall I try it on? Oh, wait a minute. There, how does it look?
Just had a
I don't wear
haircut.
it well. I don't wear it well. Incidentally, here is another trophy I'm very proud of, Ed. I was made an honorary member of Bunker Bill's, that's Bill Spaulding, the
Yeah.
coach, the former coach of UCLA, a few years back, and I'm very proud to have been one of the first honorary members of Bunker Bill's teams because a lot of the members of that team at that particular time are very dear friends of mine, and they just honored me by letting me become one of the little Bunker Bill Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
Right here, this is one of my most prized possessions, Ed. This is my Oscar. That it isn't as big as you probably see on the stages nowadays. I got this back in 1938, and I'm very proud of it, that the industry would see fit to give it to me.
Mickey,
Yeah.
of all the people you've met, who impressed you most?
Well, I've met so many wonderful people. I played golf with Hogan and Sam Snead and Bob Hope and all the good golfers. And I'm just impressed with everything and everybody. I love everything about everything, Ed. It sounds a little saccharine maybe, but nevertheless I must be very honest and tell you the truth because I'm an honest guy.
All right, let's narrow the field a little.
Incidentally, I'll put this down right now.
All right.
We have many more mementos that I could show you. We haven't time, as you know. But would you like to see the rest of it now?
Yeah, I would.
I'm going to just amble along here,
All
take
right.
you out here into this long hallway that we have here into the house. Incidentally, we have about 1 3/4 acre place here.
Uh-huh.
And this is our patio out here where we do most of our living.
I'm with you.
You thought you'd lose me behind that palm. Anyway, we have a lovely pool. It's 20 by 40, and we've got some wonderful neighbors. Incidentally, directly where you can't see through your cameras now, Jerry Colonna, who flies back and forth weekly
Yes?
to do his show, Super Circus, he lives right next door to us.
Do you
and
spend
we've
much
got some
time with-
wonderful neighbors. I beg your pardon?
Do you spend much time with your neighbors, Mickey?
Yes, we do. We have a wonderful time, and everybody just seems to congregate around on weekends after we've done a week's work, and we have a pretty good time out here. Incidentally, you might think that it would be something just to have a swimming pool, but a lot of people in California have swimming pools out here. It's a requisite out here, I'm sure. One of the prime requisites. Incidentally, speaking of a neighbor, you know, right in the back there, Ed, is one of my very dear golfing buddies, is Gordon McCrae. I want to see if he's home.
Good.
Good. Excuse me just a moment.
Right.
Gordon McCrae! Gordon? Hi, Gordy.
What you doing?
Well, we just, Gordon, Ed Morrow has dropped in to see the house tonight, so say hello to Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Gordon. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you, sir?
All right. How's the family?
Oh, they're all fine.
What are you eating?
Well, we're having a little chicken here.
Little chicken?
Barbecue chicken.
We'll be right up.
Good night, Gordon. Good night.
Bye, Gordy. Nice seeing you. We'll be up a little bit later on. We just sort of live casually, you know, around here, Ed.
Mickey, that's quite a pool you've got. Have you used it much lately?
Yes, we've been in it quite a lot. Ed, it's a heated pool, and some nights, you may not believe it, but it gets pretty chilly down here in this part of the valley where we live. And right now, Ed, may I take this time to introduce some gentlemen that are very dear to me. First of all, I'd like you to meet my oldest son, who is Mickey Rooney Jr.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, Mr. Merle.
How are you?
And next is Timmy Rooney, who's 9 years old.
Evening, Timmy.
Hi, Mr. Merle.
How are you?
Not Murrow's, just Mr. Murrow. There's just one. God love you. And next is little Teddy Rooney. Hi, Ted.
Hi, Mr. Merle. Hi, Mr.
Murrow.
Merle.
Hi, Mr. Teddy. How are you?
I got news for you. We blew the line, huh? Okay.
Tell me, who's the best swimmer?
Well, oh, you are, huh? Well, everybody sort of swims out here, Ed, and I wanted you to meet the boys, and so fellas, now if you'll excuse me a moment because we haven't got much time. I want to take and show Ed around the place. So you go on over there and.
Good night, fellas.
So long.
Good night.
That's it.
Mickey.
Yes, Ed.
Do you find any more satisfaction as a director and producer than as an actor?
Well, thank you very much for the compliment, Ed. I'm only trying very hard to break into that field. I've been in this business for 33 years, and I love to direct and love to produce. I would love to be successful at it.
Well, I'm sure you will be. This doesn't leave much time, this busy life, for swimming with the boys, does it?
Well, we swim quite frequently here. We lead kind of an athletic life here. We've got a wonderful badminton court that I don't know whether you could see up there. It's all in dichondra, and we play a lot of ping pong, and I love to fish. Incidentally, inside in our cabana inside here, I caught a 148-pound sailfish in Acapulco about 6 years ago when I was making a picture down in Mexico.
Mickey, let's project the Rooney story another 10 years, let's say when you're 45. What do you hope to be doing?
Well, I'm so fortunate, Ed. That's a hard question to answer, but I only hope that I can be some small part again of this business and continue on trying to entertain the people and doing my part in this great, great industry that I love so much.
Well, Mickey, thanks very much for letting us come and visit you tonight. It's been very pleasant indeed.
Thank you, Ed. It's a pleasure for you to come, and I hope you'll come again. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Right,
We
good
both hope so, Ed.
Thank
Very
you,
nice
Elaine.
meeting you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Until we meet again, Ed, good night and good luck.
And the same to you, old boy. Good night. Good night. In just a moment, we'll take you for a visit with actress Jane Mansfield.
Most people think a sports car fan looks something like this. But, of course, that's not true. As witness the two gentlemen we have here today, co-authors of a wonderful new book called A Complete Handbook of Sports Car Rallies, Trials, and Gymkhanas. And these two co-authors are Arthur Peck and David Hebb. Arthur, what's all the excitement?
Well, Bob, there have been quite a few books about what sports car to buy, but this is the first one that tells you how to enjoy it when you've got one.
Mm-hmm.
It goes a little further. In fact, it'll tell you how to enjoy any car that you have if you love to drive. Even if your main occupation each summer is a trip with the kids and the wife on the vacation.
Well, now, tell me, David Hebb, is there anything else that might make this trip even more enjoyable?
Even more enjoyable, I certainly have, Bob. I think that every sports car enthusiast, everybody who likes to drive, is particular about the motor fuel he uses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm as particular as anybody, and I use Amoco gas. I'd recommend it to anybody, anytime.
Well, that goes double for me, Bob. I've used it for years.
Well, fellas, this is the sort of thing we like very much to hear. We'd also like very much to hear it from you. So the next time your tank needs filling, drive into the Amoco station and say to the man, fill her up with clear, white, unleaded Amoco gas. The only motor fuel on the road that's refined to the highest natural octane without the use of lead. Check on the book, too, huh? And now, here's Ed Murrow.
From the time she first dreamed of becoming a movie star, that was at about the age of 6, Jane Mansfield has never had any real doubts that one day she'll make it, even though she has yet to star in a Hollywood movie. But she now seems on her way. Miss Mansfield currently has the lead in the Broadway show, Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, for which she received generally good reviews. At the moment, she is also the most photographed woman in show business. It would appear that she has made the most of these opportunities. For today, she was signed to a long-term movie contract by 20th Century Fox. Jane and her daughter live in a 2-room apartment in that tall building. It's the one on the west side of Manhattan, near the theater where she works 6 nights and 2 afternoons a week. They share somewhat crowded quarters with 4 dogs and 1 rabbit. Evening, Jane.
Hello, Mr. Merrill. How are you?
Fine. How did you manage to get out of the show tonight?
Well, Mr. Merrill, when Julie Stein, my producer, heard that you were going to come over for a visit, he said, fine, Jane, take the night off.
Oh, that was very kind of him.
He's usually very sweet about things like that. I feel that I owe quite a bit to him since
Well,
I've
we
been
do
in rock
too.
country.
We do too. I imagine it must be rather pleasant to have a night off, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. I feel so nice and relaxed here, having some friends drop over, and you're the friend.
Jane, it's past 10:30. What would you be doing if you were on the stage right now?
Oh, right now? 10:30. Oh, it's the beginning of the 3rd act. I'd be traipsing on stage in a copper sequin dress, a strapless dress, a long formal one, carrying an Academy Award with Orson Bean behind me. I would be just about to congratulate him for having won it.
Tell me, Jane, about how many pictures would you estimate you pose for in the course of a week?
Oh, in 1 week, I'd say anywhere from 10 to 500. I don't keep count.
Well, of all the pictures you've posed for, which would you say has helped your career the most?
There have been so many. They've all been so helpful. Actually, I think if I had to choose one that meant particularly a lot to me, I'd say that I was quite fond of this cover on Life magazine. It came out on my birthday a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yes.
I like it especially because it's so all-American girl-looking and sweet, and it's not the other way, you know.
Uh-huh.
Not so glamorous as some I've had taken. And I like to look this way. It's wholesome.
Tell me, Jane, do you ever get bored reading your name and seeing yourself in print so much?
No, I mean, I don't think about it that way, actually. I feel that it's necessary to keep your name lively before the public so that they don't forget you, but I don't pay too much attention to it, actually.
Well, you seem to have no difficulty getting into print. What's your formula?
No formula. They just come to me, and I try to be cooperative with the press. They've been just terrific to me. And I look at the things that I'm offered, and I try to decide how many of them are helpful to the people who offer them, and, of course, how many will be helpful to me in my career. Then I decide, I choose the best, and I go ahead and I participate in them.
Well, now, Jane Mansfield, why is being a success so important to you? Why do you work so hard?
Why?
Yes.
Everyone on this earth is put here to obtain something, to realize a goal, whether you're a doctor. If you're a doctor, you want to be a good doctor. If you're a housewife, you want to be the best housewife you can be. And I chose acting as my profession. Therefore, I want to be a good actress.
Well, success means many things to many people. What do you wish most for your daughter in life?
Oh, my little girl. I want her to be a contented person. I want her to find what she wants in life, realize that aim, and have a satisfied, happy, contented feeling inside. After all, that's what we're here for.
Is she still up, by the way?
Tonight she is, Mr. Murrow. She heard you were coming to see us, so I let her stay up just tonight as a special event. She usually goes to bed at 8 o'clock. Just a second, I'll call her. Pookie? Hello, darling.
Hello, little Jane.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine.
Little Jane, I'm told that little girls, and also big girls, are always changing their minds. But right now, tonight, right at this moment, what would you like to be?
A nurse.
A nurse? What's the name of the doggie you have?
Mignon.
Mignon. Very nice, too.
We have quite a few more doggies, but we thought tonight it just got a little rambunctious a few minutes ago. We have one called. Would you like to tell them the names?
Maroony Mansfield and Philip Mansfield and Chelsea Mansfield.
Little Jane, you're a very lucky little girl because not all mothers would allow their daughters to keep 4 dogs, and I think you have a rabbit, too, haven't you?
Yes.
All in that small apartment. Do you take care of them yourself?
Yes.
Do you? Where is... Haven't you got a live rabbit somewhere?
Yes. I'll go and get it.
Good. Where is he? There he is. What's his name?
Zachary.
Zachary?
Yes.
How old is he? Do you know?
No.
Does he eat flowers?
Yes.
Does he?
Yes.
Why don't you turn him loose and see if he'll eat a flower there? All right, we'll watch him. I don't think he's hungry.
I think he is.
Jane, you and your daughter obviously both like animals. Does little Jane share any interest with you in show business?
Well, she's a little young for show business, but we do take dancing classes together. We take tap and ballet.
Do you?
Oh, yes, don't we, sweetie?
Yes.
Well, now let's see what mother has taught daughter, or vice versa.
I think it's vice versa, Mr. Merrill. She's teaching me right now. Shall we do a couple of things?
On my side.
All right. I usually stand to the left of her. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight. Side. Sit. Change. And bend. Back. Straight. Back. Bend. Side. Where you work. Change. And bend.
How about releve?
No.
Releve?
You mean plie?
Well, that's plie.
You mean releve, plie, jump, and change?
Releve, plie, jump, and change. Of course not.
Up, down, up,
Down.
jump, and change.
Very nice,
I
little
don't
Jane.
think it's synchronated.
Thank you. Thank you very much. After all that hard work, we...
Now he's eating.
Yes, he is.
Oh, is he eating now?
He certainly is.
Oh, so he is. There he is.
Oh.
Well, good night, little Jane. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's their bedtime.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
sweetie.
night.
Good night.
Oh.
Good night.
Good night, Mother.
Good night, darling.
What about my lullaby, Dad?
Oh, I'll be in to sing it to you in just a couple of minutes.
Good night.
Good night, darling.
Good
Oh.
night, Mama.
Night, love bug.
Jane,
Yes.
you're working very hard at becoming a star. Do you think it's really worth it?
Oh, of course it's worth it. Everything that anyone sets out to do is worth it. And this is my profession, and as far as professions go, I'm happy.
Well, how accurate are most of the stories that are written about you?
Oh, there are quite a few things in there, in some of the stories, in fact, in all of the stories that are true. And then, of course, there are a couple more things that are enjoyable and interesting to read anyway.
There was an item I read the other day that you play the violin. Is that another of those press agent fictions?
No, actually it isn't, Mr. Murray. When I was a little bitty girl, I used to win some prizes for playing the violin when I was just 6 years old. But Since then, I've been a little busy and I haven't had a chance to keep up with it, but I still play a little bit.
Well, now, you don't look like a typical violinist. Do you care to confirm this story right here and now?
Well, I think I could be compared to Jack Benny quite a bit. Well, we'll give it a try. A couple of
Good.
things anyway.
Thank you, Jane. You're in very good company, you know. Among the few who have ever attacked the violin on this program were Mary Martin and Yehudi Menuhin.
Oh, really?
And they've had a fair measure of success. Tell me,
Yes, they have.
what kind of role do you think will give you the best chance for success in the movie?
For success, I would like to have a role. You know, I've long admired a special role because I admire the girl. I would love very much to play the life of Jean Harlow, because that picture and that girl symbolizes to me a life that not only is full of joys but full of sorrows, and therefore she has, or I would have a chance to play many moods and relive some of the most wonderful things that happen to a wonderful person.
Well, Jane Mansfield, now that you finally have a movie contract, what will be the most difficult hurdle in your pursuit of stardom?
Oh, Mr. Merrill, I wouldn't say that I finally have a movie contract because I had one before.
Yes.
But this is the one I just chose for a second movie contract, and I feel that it will be a great help to me because someone will be interested in me from one source. But I would like to be able to know what pictures to choose and to be able to do adequately serious roles as well as comedy roles, because up to this point I've been thought of as a comedian because of Rock Hunter. And believe me, I love being a comedian and I'd like to be a good one, but at the same time I would like to develop the other aspects of my acting and be more of a three-dimensional individual.
Thank you very much, Jane Mansfield. Good night.
Good
and
night.
much luck to you. Good night.
Bye.
We'll be back in a moment.
One does equal 4, and I can prove it. Super Permalube Motor Oil does the work of 4 ordinary grades of oil and does it better. And here's another number to remember. 34 and 4/10. Super Permalube Motor Oil cuts engine drag so much it can give you up to 34 and 4/10 extra miles per tank full of gas. It's Super Permalube Motor Oil, and it's at your Amoco dealers. And now here's Ed Murrow.
Next week, from Washington, D.C., the Belgian ambassador and his wife, Baron and Baroness Silvercruise. And from New York, actor Ralph Bellamy and his wife. There are some of the people who made tonight's program possible. And now, from person to person, good night and good luck.
Will your watch slip through your wedding ring? Will it pass the famous Elgin ring test like this? If it won't, get back in style with a new Elgin Petite, the world's smallest watch, from $33.75. Make the ring test with an Elgin Petite and any other watch of similar price. You're sure to choose an Elgin Petite, world's smallest watch, from $33.75. Exclusively yours from Elgin, the beautiful way to say Happy Mother's Day.